Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaos. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to language for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I'm your keeper, Keeper Michael, and we return to Masks of Nyarlathotep in the England chapter. We are in our finale series, and we have some unfinished business to get to. So first, we're going to do introductions. To my right,
this is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane, and I am still paralyzed.
Yes, it's shocking what a little tickling might do to you, Lillian, at the end of the table.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle, and it's time to bring the cleansing flame of God.
I agree. To his right.
This is Lonnie. I'll be playing Lawrence Edward Oliver Forsyth, and it looks like this is the end.
Indeed. To his right.
This is James. I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach, and I bring light into your life.
You really do light my fire in that way, Doctor. To the doctor's right.
This is Tiffany, and I play Maeve O'Shea, and I'm phoning a friend.
Quite literally. And last but most certainly not least.
This is Alex. I'll be playing Simone Gouranger, and I am in dire need of the doctor's tickling.
Wow.
I'm sure we can set that up.
Whoa.
So when we last left our group, we were in the ritual site. There were several of these dark and shadowy shapes that had appeared and had pounced on investigators. And the doctor shot a flare gun at one of them. The Tommy gun's gone off several times. There's still this crazed, writhing orgy going on. And amidst all of it, the car that the doctor and Simone arrived with was hit by a massive bolt of lightning from a thunderous voice on the air as the now semi-electrified Edward Gavigan stalks around the site. And so, we are going to dip right back in to that scene. And Miss Lane, if you would like to make a hard power roll, you can grab hold of yourself this round rather than waiting an entire another round.
That would be lovely.
It would be.
Yep. All right. At a 47 out of 50.
Not a hard unless you want to push the roll.
I would have to spend 27 luck to do that.
Or you can push it.
You could push it.
Push it?
You could push it and thus re-roll. I would, as your gentle keeper, remind you that failed push rolls are bad news.
You might drop another conch.
Conk.
Just lay back and enjoy the tickling.
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait until the next round.
Fair enough. Jack?
All right, so I just got attacked by one of these children of the Pharaoh.
Oh, yeah.
Right? All right, I will step, swing, put my Tommy gun point blank basically into its gut. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our defense against the wickedness and snares of the devil. And then I'll light it up.
Okay, so if you're going to make a point blank roll, go ahead and give me a roll with advantage.
Oh, okay. So wheat. Ooh, and that does it. Very well, actually.
Roll damage.
So I do this, though, each point.
So what's the roll, functionally?
15.
Okay, so there's 10 points difference?
Yeah,
Okay, how many rounds?
all of them.
All 10? Or just you're
all
going to
10.
empty the
Yeah.
drum?
Well, no, I'm
Okay.
going to put 10 rounds of.
So, okay, roll it 5 times.
So 31 points of damage.
You open up with the Tommy gun and stitch this thing from the lower part of its long, sweeping tail all the way up until you crack the skull. And it discorporates right in front of you. The curtains of darkness part, and there is a lone blossom of flare gun residual for you to stare at. And that's your action. Miss O'Shea,
Yes.
you are continuing to cast?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm going to have you make a contested power roll with me.
Oh.
Because someone would like to stop that whole thing you got going on.
Okay, but I also have a plus, I think, from those scepters, I think. It's 26 out of 65.
Okay, you hold your spell. You can feel his presence staring at you, his scepters preparing to call forth either another bolt of energy, or he's trying to rain all over your parade. But whatever you have going inside of you refuses to succumb to it.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Your throat is raw and scratchy at this point. And you can hear that your own consonants are developing a very harsh S as you continue. There is a welling of heat across your back. It feels like your back's on fire.
Like where those spots are?
It's all over your back now. You can feel the heat all the way up your back. And so, Lawrence,
Another swing.
go for it.
That is a critical failure. Double
Okay.
0.
Double lock. You swing back toward its face. And when you do, you wrench yourself free of its grip. By the sheer force of your body turning, it loses control. And you fall. When you fall from this height, you will take 8 points of damage.
I don't even know if I can make a con roll for that. I'm at well below 0.
Give me a con roll as provided to you by a Hand of Fate.
96 over 80.
Okay. You fall. And as you fall, you see the shimmering sight below. The glancing headlight off of the obelisk. The revelers, your friends, your fellow investigators moving between creature, the roar of Jack's Tommy gun, the welling sound coming from a raspy singing voice provided by Miss O'Shea. And as you fall, you come into direct contact with the obelisk. And it impales you. And through the crunch and the sicking sinew breaking, your blood flows down the side of the obelisk. You only fall through it maybe 12 or so inches. The iron rods and chains hold you tight. But there is a shower of blood over those souls still chained. And a significant amount covers the robes of the singing Miss O'Shea. Your journey has come to an end.
But what a way to go.
For those of you on the field of battle still, this sight is transformative in its horror, and for some of you, in its need, its call for revenge. And now, Simone, make me a con roll.
The hard success, 1365.
You stay up. Through sheer force of will and rage, you continue on.
Forsyth was impaled
Yes, sir.
atop the obelisk. What can we... Well, so the area is like lit at this point?
There is a single pair of headlights on the right-hand side of the... One headlight on the side of the rolls that is still operable. It's likely operating a little bit better than it used to because the car was hit by a massive bolt of lightning. And then there is the after effects of magnesium peppering the ground and the people around the quelched bonfire who are still continuing, even though they're covered in all manner of blood and fluids and magnesium.
Do I see the doctor having launched the flare?
Yes, you do. He's not far from you.
I mean, the rifle's strapped to me, so I'm just going to... I'm on the ground.
Yep.
So I'm just going to turn as best I can And I'm going to try to line up a shot with the one that was on the back of the car. Because the doctor got out and then fired at the one on the hood.
Yep.
So the other one is still there.
When you double check the one in back, it's gone.
Then I will continue looking toward the doctor's area, and I will attempt to croak out a single word. Fuck.
Yeah, you hear that.
That word actually means more to me than help usually, so I'll scurry around the back of the car
And then I yell it.
and try to catch him before he collapses.
You catch him.
Excellent.
No roll needed.
I ease him to the ground then, and under the last dying lights of the magnesium flare, see what I can do to restabilize him.
Sure. Give me a first aid roll.
You got it. Like a successful one?
Yeah, that would help.
Okay.
Preferably. If you wouldn't mind, Doctor.
Yeah, because that was not a successful. And that is 67 over 90, or 59.
Fates are happy to give you another roll.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Fates. That is a 36 under 59. So that is just a normal roll. So
Okay, so you may restore a single hit point of damage to Simone,
excellent.
which takes him out of the danger zone. So that is the end of that round. Lillian, still having hold of your weapon, you finally snap out of it.
How close am I to Gavigan now?
He's probably a good 3 or 4 yards away. He's moved about 10 or 15 feet away from you. He seems to be...
Is he preoccupied?
He's pointed mostly at you and at Miss O'Shea. He seems to be keeping the two of you readily in front of him. He has his scepters now back crossed across himself, but you can tell through the fading light that he's bleeding.
Oh, good. Did I see Lawrence fall?
It's unmistakable. It happened directly in front of you.
I'm obviously enraged at this point because the shit's got to be done. I am going to stand up and fire my weapon directly at him. Fuck yeah! All right, I got a 33 out of 65.
Roll damage.
I got a 12.
You fire. And you take him in the hip a bit, is where you hit him. That same left side that seems to have been bleeding, you add on, and he buckles under the pressure of it. And you can see him fall forward and onto the ground. And you see that he loses the grasp of one of his scepters.
Can I die for it?
Nope, that's your action. You done, lady. Technically, Simone still has his gun in his hand with 1 hit point.
The doctor, if the doctor is basically keeping me alive, I will continue to cover us because there's still these things, right?
There's 1 left, yeah.
The one that killed Forsyth.
Yep. Up
Oh, right. Yeah, Alouette. I will do my best to pluck him. That is a success, 38 out of 70.
All right, roll damage.
So 10.
Okay. Yeah, you fire. And this thing is taken out of the sky and it falls towards the ground. It doesn't evaporate like the others. It doesn't seem like it's completely gone.
I follow it down.
Yeah, it's falling right towards the obelisk location. Jack's on 110.
All right. I will drop the Tommy gun because I've been relying way too much on luck to get rounds off.
Yep.
And pull my handgun.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot Gavigan. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and the other evil spirits who prowl upon the world for the ruins of the souls. 77 under 85 or 84. 7 under 84. I missed that one.
Okay. You fire off a couple of shots, roll me some damage.
16 altogether.
Okay.
Amen.
You fire off a couple shots, and he was doubled over already. And when you fire into him, he collapses onto his side. And he lets out this enormous, booming, "No!" And he falls. And the ground starts shaking. The obelisk cracks, piece by piece. The souls attached to it are covered in stone, quickly. And out of this obelisk, Mr. Forsyth's body goes flying as it is exploded outward. A dark and thick viscous fluid coats the ground, as if a wellspring was under this obelisk, as if an oil field is now burgeoning. It begins to coat the bodies. We're out of rounds.
Oh, so I didn't even get to finish my summon?
No, it finishes. It's here. Beneath this ground here, as you're all trying to get your bearings, a hole opens in the earth. Slowly but surely, a sinkhole opens. And a creature that some of you have seen before begins to emerge. It's about 2 or so meters from this gout of fluid, this black viscous fluid that's coming out of the obelisk. And Miss O'Shea, you see a somewhat familiar face, if that's what you would call a face.
Right.
Even through your severely raw throat, you can feel the cloud of this gas arrive. The telltale sign that one of Yig's servitors has arrived. Everyone give me a hard spot hidden roll.
Nope.
That was a hard success, 27 out of 58.
Very good.
Oh, that was complete
79
failure.
under 80.
I'm too busy looking at...
78 under 89.
Yeah, you're way too busy looking at what you've called.
Yes.
For those of you who have succeeded, and that would be Mr. Granger as well.
Lillian got a 53 out of 88.
Very good, Lillian. Not a hard roll,
But good.
but good. You could push that roll if you'd like.
No.
It's just a spot hidden roll.
Yeah,
I'm sure
right.
it'll be
What's the
fine.
worst going to happen? Your eyes
Right.
going to pop out of your head.
So Simone and anybody else that succeeded on that roll, you begin to see the oily viscous fluid begin to bubble and pop, as if something almost
Breathing.
it's almost trying to reach out from it.
I think it's time to go. Do we have anybody else to kill? Is Gavigan dead?
Are you gonna go check?
Sure.
I mean, his body is covered in this fluid. You'd have to drag him out of it.
Well, I was gonna tell the servitor to kill all of the enemies. So I'm at a point where Avigan was, all the people writhing around the pit, while we work on trying to free the people that were chained up.
So you're gonna send it after the encircled, orgiastic people?
Yeah, and Gavigan's body. So it can eat Gavigan, so we know he's gone and done.
Okay, so it starts at the orgy and begins making a very easy circular motion. I want everyone here to roll sanity.
Thanks, mate.
Except for you, Miss O'Shea.
Yeah.
That's not necessary.
That's a failure.
You're welcome.
I make it.
69 over 52.
Very good.
Thank you, Maeve.
Thanks, Maeve.
You're welcome.
Yes, do go on.
I got a 95 out of 38.
Everybody's
Miss
gonna be
Lane-
like...
Yeah. You lose 3 sanity. Doctor, you lose 1. But Miss Lane, this is something you don't even know. It's inhuman. She called this thing from the ground, and now it's eating people.
I rolled a 96 out of
Oh,
69.
that's great. Lose 4 points of sanity. Your sanity actually, Simone, is punctuated by the fact that your landlady is 10 yards over there. Having been chained to this obelisk, you're only now seeing her form covered by this viscous fluid. She has been irrevocably tainted by this foul ritual.
There's currently a giant snake eating everything, right?
At the moment, yes.
Well, I mean, is it like, what is it, a serpent?
I mean, it's not a traditional serpent. It is
What
a
is it? I mean,
serpent.
what does it resemble?
It resembles a about 2.5 or so meter wide And then this one is about 15 or so meters long, serpent-like creature, which has a multi-hinged jaw.
Oh, okay. Well, as there is clearly a servitor of Damballa here to bring peace and bring the continuum back to the ways of the ancient past, to provide some assurances of the future, I will allow it to do its work and let this moment take my sanity for some time.
This is actually perfect. This is what should be happening. This makes sense to you. It's just simply cleansing the earth of the foulness that's here. It's restoring balance.
I just can't even.
You have a hold of a Gavigan's body, and you're having pulled it a bit from this slick fluid that seems to be trying to tug on it, and you see that there's something around his neck. It's a chain.
I grab it.
It's a heavy cast necklace.
Can I take it off him?
Mm-hmm. You take it off of him. You feel the chain, and at the end of it, there seems to be this strange, stylized piece. Even in the dim light here, you can tell it's in the shape of an inverted ankh. And there seems an eye at the center of it.
Like alive?
You're not quite sure.
While the servitor is eating its way through the party,
Mm-hmm.
is this the one that I can also bargain with, or do I have to contact?
No, that's bargaining would be you contacting Yig,
Oh, okay.
which is a totally separate thing we'd have to do.
Yeah, well, and I don't have the components required.
Correct. It continues to eat, and it's not quiet either. So you're all, as you're collecting yourselves and trying to get to figure out what the next steps are, you can see Miss O'Shea just kind of mentally almost guiding this creature on its path. And the only saving grace, Doctor, is that it is dealing with an awful mess.
Oh, absolutely. Doc,
Adding cleanup.
Doc is going to kind of use that medical partition. Yep. Going to put the blinders on. This has to go in one box. The other boxes I have go see what Lawrence is.
I'm gonna turn to Jack, and can you work on picking these locks and freeing these people?
Jack, when she turns to you and asks you, make a spot hidden roll.
Oh yeah, that's 4.
Her eyes, when they blink twice when she talks to you. Once vertically and once horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't see it again.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going... Well, okay, so the thing got blasted apart. So technically, even though they're cuffed, they're not attached
they're not
anymore.
attached anymore.
Right, so I'm more interested in getting them out of there than picking a lock. We can take care of that later.
Sure.
So I'll start pulling them out of the ooze.
The fluid does seem to stick to them quite a bit. It seeps into the ground here, and as it does, some of it, of course, goes down the tunnel that this massive beast came out of. As it seeps into the ground here, you can tell that there's almost a tar-like substance for those of you who are near it, or if it's on your shoes. It definitely sticks. It's stickier than gum.
So yeah, I'll start pulling people out.
Well, you can only pull them so far because there was no slack on the chains.
No, it's gone. The chains are gone. I mean, they're not gone, but they're not attached to anything anymore.
Oh, okay. I
'Cause
thought
the
they were
obelisk
still
exploded.
attached.
They're not attached to the obelisk. The obelisk exploded, so they can be removed from the chains now fairly easily.
But I'm just more interested in getting them out of there first. And
Yep. You drag 4 bodies out. An older man, the aforementioned landlady, the head of reception at the Waldorf Astoria, and then this strangely dressed gentleman with the long beard. The 3 of them are still gagged. The older man is the only one who doesn't have a gag on.
because she cut it off, right?
Yep. So you're going to collect them and then go where with them?
Well, I'm going to move them towards the car.
Okay.
So, I mean, it looks like we kind of have a light and a couple of our people are already over there.
The car is still running.
Right.
It didn't take enough damage to destroy the body because it has such a high body.
Well, I'll put them in the car then, I guess.
But the car's pretty damaged. But yeah, you set them and get them into the car.
And then I'll go back, pick up my Tommy gun, and pick up Forsyth's body. Because he doesn't deserve to be left here.
That's pretty tough. Even in death, Mr. Forsyth weighs a little bit. But you do manage to recover him. You can see that a large portion of his left side was woefully damaged or deformed. Something happened to him before he got here. You're not sure what. You can also see that there are shards of the crystal he used to keep in his breast pocket. They're all peppered inside his skin. Almost as if someone painted a rainbow down the side of his body.
That reminds me, I keep my stone on a pendant.
Yep.
Me too.
Did it ever...
Yep. Neither of yours ever did anything specific.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing while this is going on.
Okay.
I'm making sure that Gavigan is down the gullet of this beast. I just want to make sure that it is gone. Like, he cannot come back. Fuck you. You are being digested.
The serpent you call consumes the bodies of everyone you direct it to, up to and including Edward Gavigan.
Please let me get out of the way first.
So, are the surviving then investigators taking the car back towards the house away from the ritual site?
Well, once Maeve's done with her pet lizard.
Since the back seat is now full, I open the trunk and helps Simone into it.
Leaning on my rifle, I'm going to kind of elbow the doctor's hand off of me. I'm going to make my way over to the driver's seat.
All right.
Is the creature in the house gone? I'm looking at the group and I ask that. Is the creature in the house gone?
Yeah, I believe Simone blew it up.
Okay. I just want to make sure that everything is gone in this place.
There's a rolling, echoing belch that comes from the inside of this creature, still standing-ish, kind of sitting up and breathing. It kind of exhales, and you hear like the shifting of something inside of it.
Is the ooze still bubbling and gurgling?
No, it's seeped into the ground now.
All right.
I'm not riding in the car back. I'm gonna walk.
We're gonna check the house out and make sure it's clear. I say we as I nod to the...
Maeve, can you get rid of that?
Well, I want to go
Please?
check the house out and make sure there's nothing else there. Can any of you take any more damage? I don't think so. We already lost one
actually.
person. I'm going to make sure it's clear.
Were you going to send that in?
Yeah.
Will it fit in there?
We'll find out now, won't we?
So Miss O'Shea and her pet go back to the house. They pass you at some point, Lillian, which is a very disturbing set of images for your brain to continue to stitch into its memory. Those of you with the surviving members of the ritual and the surviving members of our investigators have to take a little time to kind of properly prop people and get people. You are abuzz with activity, Doctor.
Oh, absolutely.
You have 4 new patients.
Yep. Should I do 4 medicine rolls or
The car is full, right?
one for the
car.
group?
Yes, the car is full. Why don't you just give me 1 general medicine roll?
Oh yeah, that's a 2.
Is Jack with us?
Yeah. Well, I'm not in the car, but because there's not enough room for me.
That is an extreme. I got a 2 under 82.
I mean, you could stand on the running boards.
That's true. Yeah.
That would kind of be something with the Tommy gun that you
Oh,
might want.
yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Now he's all about it.
Uh-huh.
All about the imagery.
That's
so
right.
yes, he is there, Simone.
I will lean out the window. Should we come back for you?
For me?
I rev the engine.
No, I'll ride back. I get on the running board. Tommy gun in the air.
The trunk's open. All right, let's go. I hit the gas.
Where are you driving to?
I mean, we've got to get these people somewhere. I'm going to go out the gate.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No,
we got to go back into the house. There are people still in the
There's
house.
people in the house.
where? I mean,
Wait, drop me off. You can take them. Get them somewhere.
And bring back help.
And, well, I don't know if we want to bring back anybody here.
I give Jack a thumbs up. I wait for him to hop off.
Take those people somewhere to help and then come back. No help.
Okay. Miss O'Shea, you and your friend reach the house. Where are you going and what are you doing?
I'm gonna ask him to patrol the outside while I go look inside for danger. They're, basically communicating that, like, there will be innocents in this house. Don't attack everything that moves.
Okay, you feel like it gets the impression of patrol, which seems a pretty basic, like, guard or something akin to it. But as your thoughts get more and more complex, you can tell that it seems to waver a little. Like when you talk about innocence, it doesn't understand what that means.
Okay.
And so it just kind of slinks off towards the front of the house, like it's going to circle the house.
Okay. And do not attack unless told to do so.
Okay. What are you doing in the house?
I'm going to be going room by room, getting, like, the people, like, the maid we saw earlier, get her the hell out. Make sure there's no more of those shadow creatures. Make sure there's, no more of the other creatures that Simone talked about.
Sure. You do a deep dive into the house. The guts of the first and second floor are pretty well exposed from the dynamite blast. The basement is still filled with many, many things, one of which is people. But obviously, Gavigan did keep, as I mentioned before, he did keep some sort of desk, some sort of working space down here.
Right. And we never found the key, did we? To get into those...
Oh, to the safe?
Into those cells. To let the people out.
No, you never found the key to get into the cells.
In the belly of the beast. Okay. The staff that worked for the house, is everybody else out?
Yeah, you don't find any living souls on the first floor or the second floor.
Okay. Then I'm gonna walk out and find Jack. 'Cause I'm assuming he's out there, because I want to go look for him, so I'm hoping that they came back to the house.
You find him at the front of the house, walking with his Tommy gun.
There are people in the basement that need to be freed.
Yeah, I know. That's where I'm going now.
Okay.
So that you are going to set about freeing the people in the basement?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going with him, Miss O'Shea?
Yes.
So, in your time in the basement, you'll free a whole bunch of people. 25 to be exact. So, you free scores of people, and they are pretty befuddled. Some of them are still not in their right mind. They almost look like they've been drugged. You are able to get them up and out of the house.
Probably put them in, like, the parlor area.
Okay.
Because I don't want them outside with that thing.
Fair enough. There is more than enough space in the parlor or in one of the great halls here.
Yeah, and can we, like, collect, like, robes, blankets, whatever for these people? Because I think they were barely clothed, if at all.
Okay. What else are you doing in the house?
I guess look for other things that Gavigan had. Not that I want anything to do with this Black Pharaoh.
Just a brief look through his personal laboratory down here. There's probably over 100 tomes. There are scores of scrolls that have been rolled up and into the areas here. It's a complete treasure trove of all manner of tomes and books.
No way of getting that anywhere.
Not yet.
You also find a rather large collection of what you believe are components, Miss O'Shea. Pressed flowers, varicolored dusts, powdered blood, all sorts of things that your mystical mind thinks could be useful. If you'd like, you can make me an occult roll.
I don't have a bag of holding here. 30 out of 83.
Okay. Yeah, these are definitely, as far as your occult brain goes, these are definitely items you might be able to use in mundane spellcasting. But if you spent a little more time, you can probably get a Cthulhu Mythos roll as well.
Well, I think we're waiting for them to come back, so if I have time, I'm going to do it.
Go for it.
17 out of 30.
Okay. You're able to, with your knowledge of the mythos, confirm that these are components. And some of them are rather special. They should not be left here, because it's unlikely you'd come across them again.
Okay, well then those ones I would grab. I need to have my friend go retrieve my knife if he can. But that's later, sorry. Unless I can communicate with him telepathically, I don't think.
No.
We can go out there later and get it too.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, so I'm going to get these special...
Components. I'll give you a list.
Yep. And then, are there any books that, like, stand out specifically?
There are nearly 100 books here. To say stand out would be an understatement. All of them could potentially be valuable.
Oh, a bitch.
Calm down, we'll take care of it.
There are some various languages here. French. Some of your Arabic lettering here piques your interest.
What about the, forgot what the name of that language was. The Cthulhu language.
Oh,
Starts with an A.
You mean Aklo?
Yeah. Is there anything...
No, there's nothing here written in Aklo, at least from what you understand of it is. You don't see anything musically speaking that could come close to Aklo. Jack, you find a couple of things here after doing your level best. While she's doing her work into the library area, you find a couple pieces of some fairly interesting invoice paper. And one of it is... It looks like it's a long invoice for a bunch of items that got shipped.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. It looks like some of them go to this Ho Fang in Shanghai. There's a Randolph Shipping in Darwin, Australia. And this someone named Omar Al-Shakti.
In Egypt?
In Egypt.
Does it have a list of the items?
It does.
Does it match in any way the items that Simone hijacked?
Some of them. You also find another note. This one's personal. It's folded. It looks like it was nice cardstock paper that was used to write a letter. You're not certain of the author per se, but you're just looking around some of the other office here. You're fairly certain this is Edward Gavigan's handwriting. You could likely match it up with Lillian at some point. And it says, for the attention of the Pale Viper, Elias has been dealt with by our friends in New York. Now we must turn to our other problem, namely Jack Brady. I understand that he may be in Shanghai, and I ask if you would direct your resources to hunting him down. His ability to abscond to the east is troubling. He's evaded us for far too long. He may become an obstacle to our great plan. If you wish, I will... And the note ends. Seems unfinished.
Somebody must have interrupted him.
It does sadly confirm one thing you'd suspected for some time. As a private investigator, you've been putting clues together for some time. And this note fairly well confirms that if it's Edward Gavigan's handwriting, Edward Gavigan issued the order to kill Jackson Elias.
Yeah.
It's likely that your fellow investigator should probably be made aware of it.
Oh, yes.
Simone, Doctor, you get back to, in about an hour or so, well, half an hour probably, after the bridge stuff and whatnot, you get back to Walton on the Naze, or at least the outskirts therein. It is very late. Some of your patients, through your remarkable medical care while en route, seem to begin to make some improvements. At least the older woman is no longer shaking. She's not shivering anymore. You've had to give a fair amount of painkillers to the older man. And the man with the long beard is doing remarkably well. He seems to have brightened quite a bit. He's introduced himself as Dmitri. He has a very thick Russian accent. He begins to tell you that he was a visiting Orthodox priest, and he became enraptured with this Blue Pyramid Club, and then suddenly he talked to a few waitresses, he made some inquiries, and he was hit over the head one night outside the club.
Quintessentially a wrong time, wrong place. That's what it sounds like.
He shows you the bruise, like, on his face. It looks like they hit him with a club, likely without the spikes.
That hitting with the spike club probably would not have knocked him out.
Right.
Correct.
Well, when we get to, I guess we go to a town center. I doubt a city or a town of this size has a hospital of
It does not have a hospital per se. There is a clinic here.
Okay.
That there's a doctor.
Yeah. Well, he's just going to have to get woke up.
Yep.
Because he's a doctor.
And he does.
Yep. I pound on the door and then immediately relay to him as much medical information as I can.
Okay.
Doctor to doctor, and then...
He's shocked, obviously, for a number of reasons. And he dives in to help.
I am probably actively avoiding looking at, Simone's landlady. But once we get to wherever the doctor has instructed us to go, and we get everybody kind of offloaded, I will embrace her if she allows me and whisper, "I am sorry he is gone."
She doesn't do much other than sit in shock.
But he is glad that you are safe.
She struggles to smile.
I'll just kind of probably like pat her head a bit and look at the doctor, probably running around with the other doctor. And I will take my broken ass back out to the car and make sure that there's enough gas in it to get back.
Easily.
I make the drive.
I was going to just basically close my eyes and by luck pick 3 books.
Okay, roll luck.
96 out of 69. So I probably just get like, here's how to make hot tea.
3 copies of All About Birds.
You pick out 3 books.
How to make ducks pay.
Or it's all like blood magic shit I'm never gonna do. I'll probably light them on fire once I look at them.
Maybe. You pick out 3 books. Miss Lane, you walked back. Where were you walking to?
I was going back to the house.
To the house?
But my clothes are tattered. I'm covered in blood.
Yep.
I look like I just went to hell and back.
You did.
I've got my shotgun still at the ready, just in case.
Yeah.
And I have that necklace in my... I put it on because I didn't know what else to do with it.
Yeah, it is oddly... There's a craftsmanship to it. There is a... And although it is adorned with what look like thorns, or maybe claws, there is something to it, even as strange or maybe even dark and foreboding as it is. There is something to it that keeps you from casting it aside. It's a very lonely walk back to Misr House.
Probably crying and, snot running down my face. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And,
You feel all the emotions of the mission was accomplished, and you feel the deep and welling loss of Lawrence and having the front row seat to all of it, and just wishing things had gone differently. And there's all this just rolling emotion that you get caught up in, and it's like a waterfall. It doesn't stop.
So it's like we won the battle but lost the war. Yeah.
You may have. That is yet to be determined.
Once we get the people all rounded up and stuff, I'm just gonna go outside, pat the servitor on the head, so to speak, and send him on his way and make the lonely trek back out to the blood in the field to go find my knife.
You pass Lillian on the way.
Probably look terrible and probably look at each other like, I don't want to talk right now.
That's probably right.
You go back out to the site, Miss O'Shea, and it doesn't take you very long in the dimly early hours that are beginning to arrive. Finding the knife for you is uncannily easy. You walk right to it. You reach your hand down and the leftover mired blood and fluids, and you withdraw it from the ground. And it almost feels like a piece of you has come home.
How big did it get after the murders? I mean, the cleansing.
Oh, the knife?
Yeah.
The knife hasn't changed size yet. You're not sure why it didn't draw anything from Edward Gavigan, but whatever mystical power he had must have protected
I meant
him.
from the tube before that.
Oh.
Because I'm sure I didn't look at it when, I was just slicing away.
It has, I should say then, it has mostly reformed into a full blade. Although you do see that there are some edges of it that are not yet whole. I'm sure you can work on that at some point in the future.
Yeah, I will. It's no problem.
There is one thing in particular I want to do, because they had to get all these people out here somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me that there's another vehicle here somewhere.
You search the grounds, and you eventually find a shed. The shed has what is effectively a flatbed lorry in it. It just has wood slats for the back rails where you could probably plop people.
Okay. Yeah, so I will pull that out and around to the front so that at some point we can load everybody up into it.
Well, the rest of the night rolls into morning from there. The people eventually begin to come out of it, and as they do, you're able to eventually load them onto the truck. Simone, you'll arrive back at Misr House to this scene of them loading people in. Miss O'Shea, you finally eventually come back. Lillian, when you stop at the house, eventually you see Jack working to save people. And you probably begin to kind of snap out of things and just go into let me help mode.
Yep, I jump in to help.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I come back, I'm going to help them start getting people onto the... And, make sure that they have, they're warm enough. We have enough blankets. We have enough,
You don't have enough blankets. You don't have enough things to keep them warm. There are too many people. The house has had a stick of dynamite go off inside of it. So, the house is in shambles. You don't have everything what you need. There is no way to keep everyone warm. You are having to triage people as best as you can.
Okay.
I make sure everybody's nice and awake when I roll up by leaning on the horn.
Okay.
And then we're going to have to toss this house. Toss it.
Yeah, a total tossing of the house reveals little more than what you've found already. The problem with dynamite going off inside the house is all of the particular tiny little valuables were shattered. So all of the things that you might have gotten your claws into, they're gone.
Damn, Simone, I swear to God.
But the beast that would have likely devoured all of you is also dead, so there's that, right?
We could have taken it.
Right.
Sure.
Before Simone leaves, I remove Lawrence's body and have put it into the back of the doctor's office, because I'm sure they have a room for a body lying in state.
They do. There's a table.
I make sure that he's clean and taken care of, and then the doc then proceeds to get pretty drunk.
Okay.
Goes back to the hotel, finds a bottle, and holes himself up in his room and drinks, because he can only keep that partition up so long.
Sure. So for the folks at the house, after you have done your best for them and have searched the premises and gathered some things.
All of those books. All of them.
All of them?
No,
All
we
of
should
them.
light them on fire.
No, they're coming with us.
All 100?
Really?
Yeah. We have a
Oh,
truck.
I immediately perk up if I think that he's
Where
going
are
to
we
help
going
me
to
get
do
these
them
books.
after we get back?
Oh, we're keeping all the books? Yay! Yes.
I know, I'm like, what?
We can't take those with us.
Well, you do have
A storage
plan.
spot.
A plan to ship back a bunch of stuff.
Isn't that already in place? It's already going? Isn't it on its way?
Like the Lillian Lane doesn't have enough money to ship
That's
another
true.
crate?
We can
Yeah.
ship another
Okay.
crate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just making sure.
Can we light the house on fire?
No.
I kind of want
The one person that always wants to light shit
No.
on fire.
Once. I lit something on fire once.
Yeah, you're actually thinking of me.
Or you.
If the house stays without it being lit on fire, that's fine. If it goes up in smoke, it doesn't matter to me. What is important, I think, as you're going to head back to Walton on the Naze with the survivors, You're going to drop them off likely at the same clinic that you dropped the 4 people off. You're going to quickly overcome the doctor there because the other doctor is at the hotel now with the window of his bedroom open, trying to drink in the sea air and drink in as many spirits as he can.
I kind of want to take all these people to London, but
that's several hours away.
I know, but they'd be better off in London, where they most likely came from.
I'm going to stay at the doctor's office to help the doctor.
Okay, very good.
I'm going to go back to my room with as many books as I can carry, order a bottle of wine, no glass, and shut my door.
Simone?
So we get all the people back to the clinic. Mm-hmm. Was there also, there was a looting that occurred? Did we just load this flatbed or something?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a light looting.
I think I'm going to adjourn to the doctor's room in the middle of the night, morning, whatever time it happens to be when we finally wrap all this stuff up.
It's like 3 a.m. probably.
Yeah, I'm just going to wander in.
You have a visitor, Doctor.
Hello, Simone.
Shut the door behind me. Just kind of stand there.
What can I do for you?
And then I will promptly collapse. Probably almost to his bed, somewhere near the floor in the bed, in something resembling a long sleep, a nice sound sleep.
In my drunken haze, I tuck Simone in and then proceed to curl up in a little ball next to the bed and pass out as well. Around the bottle.
Of course.
Yeah.
Clearly. So I feel like we have lost Mr. Forsyth. So from your keeper to you, thank you for playing Lawrence.
It was a pleasure.
It was absolutely magical in multiple different ways. I think that the listeners got a lot out of him as a player. Hopefully they enjoy his end, as it were.
I hope they enjoyed him as much as I did.
Good.
Well, the saddest part is that he was the best one of us. I think. Like, he was the purest, I guess, maybe. He had more goodness in him than the rest of us, I feel.
You mean he didn't dive eternally or dive headfirst into eternal damnation on his own?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I absolutely did. Don't sugarcoat it.
Okay, so I guess what I want to do is I would like, if you are willing, and no pressure because we can of course deal with it as needed. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans here at the end of England?
I just want to say thank you. This has been a complete ride, and we will meet again in some other form.
In some form or fashion. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode and for the entirety of the England chapter. I hope that you have enjoyed our jaunt through the England chapter, and soon enough, we will find out where the investigation goes next. So thank you for your listening ears. We look forward to entertaining you again